The next neighborhood is Peaceful Valley, and speaking tonight is their chair, Jan Lowe.
Well, it's always so hard to follow Cliff Cannon. I think I had to do it last year, too. So I think my plan for next year is to form a dance troupe in Peaceful Valley. Bring it out here. I don't know. We got to do something. Peaceful Valley, as you know, is one of the smallest neighborhoods in Spokane, both geographically and in population. But I think despite our small size, we're a gem for the city. We have the river running through our neighborhood. We have a beautiful neighborhood that has a rural feeling to it. We have a very involved and active population in our neighborhood, and so we're proud of what we do. I'd like to thank the City Council for inviting us here so we can tell you about it. And I'd like to thank the Office of Neighborhood Services. They provide great support to us. Jackie, Boris, Rod, Heather, they all inform us about programs that are available that are of big help to us. They come to our meetings. It's a great assistance to our neighborhood council. We have just a little bit of the beauty of Peaceful Valley here. Our accomplishments can really be summed up for the year in the term neighborhood building. This year, we really reformed in late 2012 as a neighborhood council. And in 2013, we really concentrated on building that council and getting the community involved, the neighborhood involved. And I think we have made a lot of progress there. We've doubled the voting membership of our neighborhood council, and membership at our meetings is increasing every month, so we're really proud of that. And one of the reasons for that is the way we communicate with our neighborhood. Because of our small size, we're able to hand deliver every month the agenda for the upcoming meeting and the minutes from the last meeting. And what this does is there's a lot of people who, of course, can't attend meetings. You know, they have family obligations or they have work and they can't show up for a neighborhood meeting, or maybe they just don't like neighborhood meetings. But they do like to know what's going on in their neighborhood. They like to stay informed. And so we hand deliver this to every household in our neighborhood. So everybody knows what the issues are, what's going on, and if something comes up where they have a particular concern, they show up at the meeting. So we're proud of that, and in addition to that, we have a large email base, and we email that same information out on a monthly basis. So I think that's really helped us grow the interest in the neighborhood council. We also have updated our website that is offered through the ONS website, and our secretary, Barbara Morrissey, keeps that up to date on a monthly basis and has the minutes and the agenda and all that on there and other information that's of interest to the neighborhood. We had the first annual KYRS Music Festival in Glover Park this year. It was a success, and we're hoping to see that come back every year as long as the park is available and not under construction for some reason. We had a community garden. We have a community garden in Peaceful Valley, and it's been a very successful enterprise. Susan Burns is responsible. She's the one on the left there. And at the end of the garden season, they had a harvest party over at Mary Vollbauer's house, and it was a big success, and everybody really enjoyed the party. We had at our monthly meetings, at our monthly meetings, we had interesting presentations at just about every meeting, and we had people from the city, we had presentations by the police department, by the ombudsman's office, by the CDBG, by the Bob Turner with the traffic engineer on traffic calming. Bill Peacock from Waste Management gave us a presentation on a riverbank stabilization project going on in our neighborhood. And Garrett Jones with Parks and Rec updated us on the CDBG projects going on in the parks in Peaceful Valley. We also had Justice Tracy Staub give us a presentation on municipal courts. We had Lorraine Wiley of the Salish School of Spokane talk about that school and how they're looking for a new home, and we would love to see them located in Peaceful Valley if there's any place they can find there that would be suitable for their school. A lot of good presentations and good information at our neighborhood council meetings. In 2014, probably our biggest challenge and project will be the CSO tank. We started working with the city on this in 2013. We had several meetings, and that's going to be an ongoing process throughout 2014. The big issues for our neighborhood are site location. It could be Glover Field possibly, it could be under Main Street, it could be a parking lot on the other side of Main Street. We're concerned about where the location is, how much room it's going to take up, and how it's going to impact our neighborhood. One of the disruptions we're fearing is the disruption of traffic. Whether it's in Glover Field or under Main or on the other side of Main, there's a possibility that Main Avenue would be closed for a significant amount of time. We're a narrow, skinny neighborhood, and if Main Avenue's closed, there's only one way out, which is to the west to Riverside Avenue. So something would need to be done to give us some other access into our in and out of our neighborhood if Main Avenue was to be closed for very long. And also, bus service is really important to us. There were 3 weeks in October this year when Main Avenue was closed for some sewer repair. And during that 3 weeks, there was no bus service. And there are many people in our neighborhood who that's their only form of transportation. So it was very disruptive to their lives. And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. If for any reason Main Avenue is closed, we need to find some other way to get STA to come in and continue bus service. The community center building is a big issue for us. If the CSO tank is built in Glover Field, then we understand that the building would have to be removed. And in any case, the children's program that currently occupies it will be moving up to Brown's Addition. And once they move, that building will be vacant for the most part. It is the only public space in Peaceful Valley. It's the only place where the community can gather inside. And so it's very important to us. It's been there 60 years, so it's been a big part of our neighborhood for a long time. So if it is removed or vacated, we need to find some way to maintain a public space in Peaceful Valley. And what we are looking at, talking to Parks and Rec about and talking to the city about, is some kind of multi-use building, something where we could bring in a not-for-profit or some kind of tribal presence or something like that, where we could have a multi-use and still have it available for community events. And then finally, just the aesthetics of the finished project once a CSO tank is built. We want to make sure that we don't have a large concrete structure in our neighborhood. We want it to fit in, we want it to blend in, we want it to add to the beauty of our neighborhood rather than detracting from it. So we're looking for a lot of improvements to our neighborhood if the tank is built in or near our neighborhood.
So Jane, could I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So if it was a cultural tribal center run by the tribe, but you were able to use it for your events, would that be?
We'd be thrilled.
Okay.
And who owns it now? Excuse me. Who?
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm. Kind of in conjunction with the CSO tank, the city now is looking at integrating projects, and that's just a terrific idea. So when they tear up a street, they're looking at tearing up the street and doing the sewer and the road paving and everything at the same time to provide minimum disruption and also maximum neighborhood benefits. And one of the ideas that's come up with, kind of in conjunction with the CSO tank, is the idea of the Spokane River Gorge development having a trail that runs from downtown through Peaceful Valley, connects with the Sandifer Bridge, and kind of forms that loop. And there's been a lot of very positive feeling in the neighborhood about that and enthusiasm about the project. But there are a couple issues there that are really important that need to be addressed. One is pedestrian safety. We have narrow streets. There are some areas where there are no sidewalks, and some of those areas where there are no sidewalks, there are blind curves and narrow places that are hemmed in. So we need to work to find out how we can get a trail through there that will be pedestrian and bicycling and runner friendly and safe. Yeah.
See me afterwards, and I can put you in touch with the National Park Service that has grants available for exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, great. So, and then parking, of course. We do now, during the summertime, we have a lot of people coming down into Peaceful Valley. A lot of people put their rafts, kayaks, boats down there. We have a lot of fishing expeditions that leave from Peaceful Valley and large commercial rafting groups. And they park all along Water Street, and it creates a problem for the residents. There is a lot of city land in Peaceful Valley, and it is underutilized and it is ill-maintained. So we would like to see if there's some possibility for developing use of this property where it would be better maintained and perhaps provide some parking that would help with the additional visitors to our neighborhood. And finally, there in our challenges for this next year, we've come up with, we're going to tackle sidewalk cleanup. So I said we're a very pedestrian neighborhood. People walk a lot, and people walk both. The residents walk the neighborhood a lot, and people who visit the neighborhood walk through it a lot. Our sidewalks, there are a lot of our sidewalks that are in very bad shape. So we have got a list. We toured the neighborhood, got a list of sidewalk, the owners of property whose sidewalks were in disrepair. And we sent out letters to all the private property owners about cleaning up the sidewalks. There are, like I say, there's a lot of city-owned side property in our neighborhood, and unfortunately, the city and Avista are some of the worst offenders when it comes to sidewalks. There's a city sidewalk that it's always full of debris from the trees, and vegetation grows over it. It's kind of impassable on foot. There is a city sidewalk. It's never cleared of snow or ice. The plow plows the snow up on top of it, and then a sheet of it. And this was taken very recently, so even after it's thawed out of a lot of places, it's still there on these streets. This is another city property. We have a real drainage situation coming from the hill on the south side of our neighborhood. Water comes down the hill and it just washes over the sidewalks, and vegetation grows over, it freezes, there's ice dams. So again, this is what happens when it freezes. You just have a solid sheet of ice. So we're hoping we can work with the city to get the sidewalks better maintained in our neighborhood also. And that's the end of my presentation. Again, I thank you for
John, are
listening
you
to
not out there clearing those sidewalks?
We have big stretches there where there's just, the Vista owns property and the city owns property, and you're right, they're a big problem, especially if we want to put more traffic through the neighborhood, pedestrian, bike, otherwise. But Jan, I just want to commend you. I mean, there are a lot bigger neighborhoods in the city that would be thrilled to have the monthly meetings with the participation that you're drumming up in the neighborhood, and that's due in no small part to you. You've had a tremendous effort on that, so thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Appreciate all your work.
Thank you.